My name is Rhapsody and his name is Lollash, and welcome back to Slay the Spire, specifically How to Beat. How's it going, Lash?
It's going well, although I resent being called my lame Lollash. I resent that.
Okay, I can say the full name. Lollash. I was trying to think of any like a longer title that I could put on that. MCGW. There you go.
So, been a week. It's time for a salt run. And
all right, there are 2 late elites, 2 rests beforehand, a rest in between, and 2 question marks. That's a path.
it's a pretty good path. Did we want to aim for an early shop? Because we're gonna skip the 2 later shops.
There's no. Sure, we're skipping the later shops, but like going for this early shop. I mean, I guess yeah, we could. I really want to go for the remove 2 cards. The silence starts with too many cards.
Of course you want to go for the remove 2 cards, because you
do.
always want to remove cards. If I gave you the option to remove a card for 500 gold, you would take it.
If I had 500 gold, yeah.
Because you're crazy. I don't know, 7 max HP for 2 cards is pretty good value.
It's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Cut a strike and defend.
So it's a pretty standard play there, which is why I pretty much autopiloted it to cut 1 strike, taking 2 damage this time, to cut 1 strike and 1 defend. And that's so that you don't really mess with the balance of your deck, so that you still have the ability to offend and defend at roughly the same rate.
Yes, indeed. At least in the early game. Okay. So, accuracy is great if you get lots of Shiv cards. Cloak and Dagger is great, like 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So, I think Cloak is the correct pick here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Cloak and Dagger is one of those interesting silent cards that works in almost every single silent deck. If you get Kunai or Shuriken, it provides you with a bunch of small attacks and then benefits from those small attacks, which is ridiculous. If you get anything that wants you to play a lot of cards, Panache, 1000 Cuts, or Finisher, or any of these kinds of things that just want you to play a lot of cards, it's 3 cards. It's also some defense and some offense. It's almost impossible to find a deck that the Cloak and Dagger doesn't fit into.
Yeah, it's just always a solid pick.
I don't want to take 2 damage here.
I would have.
I know you would have, yeah, because you would have thought we would get a turn like this, where we didn't get enough offense on the... Ugh.
Well, we knew for a fact that we weren't going to get enough offense.
Look, that might be true.
This guy scales up really hard.
Oh yeah, that is extraordinarily true that he scales up really hard, but I think I can still get away without taking any damage here. Yep. I found more and more that, like, if you're just patient enough, it's really difficult for him to draw... It's really difficult for him to draw screw you that badly. So yeah. I want the backstab.
I think I would take a backstab here.
Yes.
It gives you a bit of additional burst damage to save your HP on the first floor. Things like backstabbing for a 1-card 0 cost to remove one of the enemies in the multi-enemy fights is a pretty big deal.
It's insane. It's bonkers. Especially because it activates a bunch of different tech archetypes for the silent as well, and in the decks that it's not that good, it's not a huge limitation, courtesy of the Ring of the Snake.
Yeah. Okay, so deck still doesn't have an identity. Noxious Fuse is always a safe pick. But Calculated Gamble is also a pretty good pick, in my opinion.
So
it enables a lot of synergies, a lot of discard synergies, a lot of relics for the silent. Use discard. Noxious Fumes is just scaling damage, basically.
Yeah, Noxious Fumes, I like to refer to it as inevitability, right? It means if you live long enough in the fight, you will win. inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a deck that is 100% defense and 1 Noxious Fumes, and you will win every fighting game.
Yeah. That's how I went through all of my
unless
high
you get killed
ascensions. Seriously, like, that was
such
ascension 10 to 15 for the silent for me. And then
It's such a boring deck, though.
it is. That's why I don't like playing high ascension, because like it incentivizes doing boring decks like that. You don't get to play your janky, ridiculous, 9 what did I have recently? I had a bottled flame with finisher and I had 9 upgraded backstabs.
Yeah. So calculated gamble.
Yeah.
I would pick here because it's a more interesting card. I think Noxious Fumes is a much safer pick though. Rip Kunai.
Rip Kunai.
Now, if we'd taken 100 gold in that first event rather than cutting 2 cards, we could have afforded the Kunai here. No, we couldn't have.
No, we
would
couldn't
have been
have.
a little short. But we could have got the toolbox.
You
which is
really
also
want that
really
burn, don't you?
good. Yeah, I wanted to sting it because removing cards is great, right? And definitely like bringing the consistency of your deck down and having a thin, well-crafted deck is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But removing 1 strike and 1 defend in a deck with no cards doesn't really do anything for you. It means you draw to your neutralize a little quicker and your survivor a little quicker.
Well, no, but
And once you start picking up cards, it becomes better.
that's
But
why you do it. It's so that you can draw into the other cards that you pick up. Also, it is worth noting, every card you remove makes the next removal way better. If you remove like the 6th card from your deck, you are slicing a 6th of your deck off and increasing your consistency for a hand draw to literally 100%, right? So they get so much better almost exponentially as you go down. That's why I want to remove the first 2.
It's unrealistic to expect that you're going to be able to craft a 5-card deck every run, though.
I know,
and if you go in thinking you can craft a 5-card run every deck, then you're going to lose a lot of runs because you cut a whole bunch of cards and don't invest in things like relics and
just because
like
you
really
can't,
useful cards.
Just because it can't be 5 cards doesn't mean it can't be 10, or doesn't mean like it's not all or nothing on that. It gets better as you get thinner with a certain playstyle for a certain kind of player. Let me note.
Yeah.
I really want the dramatic entrance here. I think we want to go with like, I really want to try the burst silent. Not burst as in burst the card, but blow up your enemies silent.
Dramatic entrance is not that great for burst silent. It's 6 damage and takes up one of your first draws guaranteed. Like, it's not a lot of damage. On the first floor, it's quite nice, but then on the later floors, that 6 damage to all enemies in your opening hand could instead be even a dagger spray is better than dramatic entrance. It costs an energy, but it's better than a dramatic entrance in the later game.
It does,
I don't
but
think you do.
Our opening hand is going to be 7 cards, so it just enables you to cast your next card because it's 0 cost.
Yeah.
I have a lot more
you can pick
respect
dramatic
for
entrance if you'd like.
I have a lot more respect for it recently.
Personally, I would have taken the leg sweep.
I would have taken the leg sweep if we'd gone for the poison spray, the noxious fumes. I would have gone for the leg sweep. So you want box here, right?
Well, we're not hitting another shop.
No.
How many more question marks are we hitting?
We're hitting 3, but we've got 2 elites before like a significant amount of them. I don't think we can take the regret. I think we go for the max HP.
We can't take the regret. You've got to go for max HP here.
Mm-hmm. So I gotta be honest, I really want to upgrade backstab and dramatic entrance and neutralize first. Like probably neutralize, then backstab, then dramatic.
Yeah, see, I would upgrade neutralize and then backstab, I think, unless we pick up something that synergizes with cloak and dagger. In which case, cloak and dagger becomes a priority.
That's what I said. Neutralize, then backstab.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right, with the fire potion, we should be able to stand up to pretty much any elite. Question card. On card reward screens, you have 1 additional card to choose from. Beautiful. Ooh, dramatic entrance. Don't mind if I do. All right, we can insta-kill someone. We could save ourselves 8 HP if we insta-kill the sentry. But then the problem becomes we're not going to be able to kill any of these other sentries in the next turn. We have extra energy this turn, so we can actually defend against this sentry and then insta-kill the front line.
Yeah, so I'd be hitting the back guy and not insta-killing any of them, to be honest.
You want to save the fire
Cloak
potion?
and Dagger. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Backstab, Cloak and Dagger Strike is nearly killing the back guy.
Yeah.
He's one attack away.
No, I agree with this.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can.
Because defending A at a turn is super easy. We perfect these guys going this route.
We can use a fire potion. Double strike fire potion.
What's left in the deck? We've just shuffled, haven't we?
Everything.
I would strike gamble and see if we draw either neutralize, defend, or survivor.
Neutralize, defend
If
wouldn't
you
be enough. He'd go down to 6 and we'd have 6, 4
he
blocks,
goes down
5
to 6.
blocks.
Yeah, that's true. But still, you've got the opportunity to potentially draw survivor, which we didn't. So now your fire potion to save the perfect.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And just chunk in that damage until the end of time. We could easily get screwed here on the draw and just... Oh, almost.
Oh. It's alright. It's a lot of days deck. We'll get rid of it anyway.
Alright, and...
Happy flower!
It's so good. Every 3 turns gain an energy.
So I would probably pick Terra here.
Yeah, same.
I think one copy of Terra goes into every non-poison silent deck.
For that same reason, I would actually immediately upgrade the Terror so that you can cast it for 0 cost, so that you can... Because, like, energy is the premium that we have to deal with currently, because we don't have that many 0 cost cards in our deck.
Yeah, you could do. But really, all it does is save you 1 energy. Right?
Mhm.
Like, in the whole long run, like, in a boss fight where you're actually going to bother casting Terror, you save yourself 1 energy on 1 turn. That's it. It's not a big saving. Having the ability to Cloak and Dagger with double shiv to get some additional damage out of our defensive card, or to have Calculated Gamble be recastable by removing the exhaust by upgrading that, I think both of those are better options than Terror here. Because 1 energy once is not going to make or break a boss fight. Right? Not when you're playing...
Well, it can. It's just... So, this is about a different kind of, like, time of impact. For an elite, you need to do all of your damage immediately up front as soon as you can. Remove the elite as early as possible. In a boss fight, you're never going to do that, right? The boss either has artifacting or has a bunch of HP or something like that, right? So your fight against them is going to be longer. You're going to draw and play Cloak and Dagger multiple times. Whereas against elites, Terror, you just need to be able to play it as soon as possible, and saving that energy means that you can play another card alongside it, like another strike or a defend, to make sure that you maintain your perfect. I think it's Terror here, and then at the very end, we go for the Cloak and Dagger. Because we've got an elite next space.
But you can pick Terror here. I disagree. I think saving the 1 energy, all you're doing is making it so that you either get 5 more block or 9 more damage on 1 turn. Like, that's the extent of what you just got from the upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas upgrading Cloak and Dagger means every single time you draw it, which is 2 or 3 times over the course of an elite fight, probably, you're getting additional 4 damage out of it, assuming no strength buffs, no anything else.
I see, the thing is, like, I agree. It's just I think we've got an elite sooner than we have a boss.
Yeah.
Really bad draw there. All of our aggressive cards still in the deck. Yeah, 4 HP lost. Not the end of the world. Extra energy from the Happy Flower there, coming in clutch.
Happy Flower.
Alright, Odd Mushroom. When vulnerable, take 25% more damage rather than 50%. That actually helps an aggressive deck quite considerably. We could easily take a Flying Knee. Just a value pick.
You could do. You could take a Flying Knee. It's just a nice, solid, standard card.
Mm-hmm.
I would be tempted to take none of these, though.
I could do that
If you want to go for burst deck, Flying Knee is useless. Doesn't actually help you at all.
Yep.
Just fattens out the deck.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree. Shame not to get Terror on this first turn, but at the very least we got a lot of defense in there, so our next turn is garbage. Alright. Do we calculate a gamble?
So that we can draw Terror and strike.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you do. I think you strike, cloak.
So the point about playing skills in this fight is you enrage your enemy and they have 2 extra damage for every single skill you play. So what you want to do is limit the amount of skills you play, but also be careful. Like I played a 6 defense there, which gave him 2 extra damage that turn. So he gets 2 extra damage every single turn, which means that after 2 more turns, he will be dealing more damage than I actually blocked by playing that.
This is very true. You do definitely defend with both of them this turn, though, because we'll kill the next turn for sure.
Mm-hmm. Old coin, 300 gold. Don't mind if I do, as well as a dex potion. I don't want any of these.
I mean, if you want to craft a super aggressive deck, you take none of this. I would take a leg sweep, because currently our deck is garbage.
How strongly do you feel about that leg sweep?
We're going into a Hexaghost fight with a low damage deck.
We do have Terror.
We do have Terror, which is nice, but the one source of damage that we have is Burst, Backstab. Cloak and Dagger hasn't been upgraded. We need to rest before boss. I'm not really comfortable going in with 40 HP.
Really?
I don't think. No.
I totally wouldn't rest before the boss.
Hexaghost.
The thing is, if you rest, you're just going to increase the amount of damage he does on his second attack. If you don't rest here, this is actually like the perfect amount of HP because you're not on number 10. So he'll only do 3x6, 18.
What?
So the amount of damage he does on his second attack, the Inflame, is commensurate to your current HP, right? And it gates...
Really?
Yeah, it gates at your 10s, right? So if you go in with like 999 HP, he will deal... what is it? It's difficult to work out, but basically 60% of your HP he will try and deal on that turn. So if you go in with higher HP, you're actually worse off. Well, you're not worse off, but you don't gain as much HP as you think you do resting before the Hexaghost. But especially when you are just below a value of 10, that's the threshold at which point it moves the damage down a step.
I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. I really do like Leg Sweep. I think it's one of the best cards in the Silent, but if you want to play an aggressive deck, then we have to skip it. Because you can't afford to have it.
I think, like, if we were playing a defensive deck, we needed to make a lot of different choices earlier. And I think there is, like, a perfect silent aggressive archetype that I've actually found quite consistent that I'm looking for here. These 3 Dex Potions, we can just use 2 of them in the final fight. For that same reason, we could actually pick up a dodge and roll.
But dodge and roll is garbage in an aggressive silent deck.
I know. It's just about how much you want to prepare for the Hexaghost at the risk of being worse off later.
I'm gonna let you pilot this one, because I don't see this deck archetype that you're trying to create. Right now, all I'm seeing is a sort of fairly flimsy deck with one and done burst cards that's going to really struggle into elites and bosses.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep our perfect.
I mean, having 3 dex potions certainly helps.
Oh yeah, and it's not hurting. The thing is, I'm basically, if anyone's wondering why I don't really want to do a defensive deck with this one, it's because I'm trying to have the runs generally differ from one another so that we can demonstrate different things and different builds and different archetypes for different characters. And we have done poison, and we have done defense, and we have done skill decks. By the way, the Terror here is making this, like, entirely viable. Dex Potion's helping, but it's only saved us, like, 4 HP in this fight so far.
But that 4 HP is maintained to perfect.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree with that. There goes the perfect.
Yeah.
Leg Sweep wouldn't have helped speed that up. Like, the only... I don't even think Noxious Fumes would have helped speed that up. Like, the only thing that would have sped that up is getting better aggressive cards. Or the Deadly Poison.
Yeah, no, this deck was not going to go perfect against Hexaghost.
Mm. As soon as we get our Glass Knife off of this selection... Oh, man... I think we take Unload.
Well, you can't take Doppelgang. You don't have any decent skills to play, so you can't take Burst. We're not building a poison deck, so you can't take Corpse Explosion.
Half the time in a poison deck, you can't take
Unload.
It. Yeah. Oh, no! Alright, so... how hard do you want to embrace the memes?
Depends which memes you're talking about. I love both Astrolabe and Calling Bell.
I want to Astrolabe 3 defenses out of the deck.
Okay. I'm taking no responsibility for this run. Okay? I just want to make that perfectly clear.
Alright, we got upgraded Unload, and upgraded Alchemize, upgraded Deflect. See, it's really important to me that we show different archetypes, and if discard cards showed up, I was gonna basically make you take the reins of the run because I don't really like the discard archetype. And same with Grand Finale.
Disco Silent is so much fun. Disco Silent is so much fun as a deck.
I don't disagree with it being fun. It's just I don't utilize it often. Like, I put discard flavor occasionally in some of my runs. Man, I do feel like I am a little bit over domineering in this one. But
it's okay. It's okay. I want you. No, I want you to horrifically fail. I'm just here to watch you horrifically fail this one. I'm going to be the little devil on your shoulder rather than the helpful. Yeah. I'm not going to be Rhapsody's little helper.
Like how you were laughing at me last time when the Velvet Choker won us the run.
Didn't win us the run.
It totally did. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. His name has been Lollash. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you in 7 minutes.
See you then.